You deeply know that you are here to create something original, something that only you can bring forward into this world. Whether that is a new therapeutic or healing system, or perhaps a new sound, or a painting, a book, or perhaps even a new political theory that will revolutionize the way that we live. That thing is just knocking at your door, it is calling you. However, with all the knowledge that you have, all the courses, university degrees, you just can't seem to bring that forward into the world. And it's not because you're unmotivated, it's not because you're lazy, it's because you gave something away a long time ago. In this video, I'm going to show you what it is that you gave away, that invisible force that's been blocking you, and how to reconnect to the power within so that you can bring your creation forward into this world. Try to stay with me all throughout this video because even if you think you've heard this information before, this is more than just me offering you information and knowledge. This is an energy transmission from me to you, and I promise you that there is something in this video that is gonna shift you and will resonate with you on a deep level. The truth is that in time, your personal power has been broken. You have been convinced into an exchange where you give your power in exchange for something that has value in the system, like good grades, for example, or money, validation, acceptance. Let me share a story with you. I must have been around 10 or 11 years old, and I was quite cheeky. I like to answer back to teachers and kind of like really get on their nerves. And I remember this particular moment. It was right after PE sports class, and I think we must have played football or basketball. We had just gone to the lockers to change, and then everyone was going back to class. And I think I was the last one walking back to class, and I see my sports teacher come up to me, and there was something different about her. She was, I felt like she had abandoned her teacher role in that moment. I must have said something to her either in that moment or before that really triggered her. And she looked at me and said, "You know, Anna, this way of yours, this way that you are, your attitude isn't gonna go well in this world. You're not gonna do well." And there was a lot of, she wanted to hurt me. She wanted to put me down. There was something about me that probably reminded her of her own power that was squashed by someone in the past. And she just couldn't have that live in the world. Interestingly, she looked quite like rebellious. She looked like the singer Pink. And that moment really stayed with me. It stayed with me. I don't even know what I said to that. I think I felt her pain, but I also felt broken inside. I think I had just left after this. But this is what happens. People have their own personal power squashed, and they just have to continue the cycle because otherwise they can't live with, them feeling powerless and having others feel powerful. And, of course, children, they have to be disciplined, but there are other ways to channel someone's rebelliousness and power other than squashing it. So, what this brings me to is to talk about the ego. Because we are told, especially in, spiritual literature circles, that the ego is bad. And, too much ego isn't good. Which, to some extent, is true. Having a very big, excessive ego, an unbalanced, excessive solar plexus, which is where the personal power is, can lead to being too domineering, too controlling. Absolutely, that is true. But not having an ego is just as bad. You get trampled over. You don't have a personal power anymore. So having a healthy, strong ego is good. And let me tell you why. It's because your higher self plugs into your solar plexus and the other energy centers. And through your solar plexus, through your personal power, the higher self channels its creative power and acts in this world. What a healthy ego does is that it gives us inner authority. Inner authority is what is taken from us in the exchange, because we are conditioned into always looking outside of us for approval. And this thing that you are meant to bring into this world, this original thing that only you can bring forward, cannot come forward if you are looking outside for approval. Let me give you an example. Albert Einstein. He was working as a patent clerk at the time when he came up with the theory of relativity. His theory went against what was our common understanding of how the world works. It went against what the brightest minds at the time, it went against Newtonian physics, believed to be true in the world. And Albert Einstein really is such a great example of someone that had inner authority. If he had looked outside of himself for approval, he would have completely forgotten about his ideas, about his theory of relativity. And he would have said, okay, this doesn't really match what is out there, what we know about the world. And so, yeah, whatever, I guess I just won't bring it into the world. Imagine if Albert Einstein had done that. The world that we know today would be very different. And that is what you are doing. And you are not Albert Einstein. That is true. But you are you. And you have your own thing that you have to channel and bring into this world. And the world would be a very different place if you don't do that. So if you want to create that work that captures your essence, that work that you came here to bring forward, you need to claim your inner authority. Now, how do we go about doing that? To channel our inner authority, we need to go from asking, is this okay? Is this what is asked of me? Is this what they want? And this is really tricky because you can easily fall into that loop. You can even, sometimes you can even be like, is this what my higher self wants of me? Is this what infinite intelligence, creator, the universe is expecting of me to do right now? So you need to go from that to asking yourself, what do I know in my bones to be true? What is it that I know? What is my lived experience? What is my truth? And although you may be feeling a little bit disconnected from this, if you sit down with yourself journal or walk and think about this, it will be easy for you to start connecting with what it is that you know, the embodied truth. It will come to you. And you will find that you know a lot more than you think you do. Open yourself up and allow yourself to receive, to feel, to tap into what it is that you know to be true. Sit with it. Allow the space for it to be. And then you have to break this conditioning, the exchange. It's going to feel wrong. You're going to feel all the fear and the shame. You're going to feel like a bad person. You're going to feel like you're being a bad girl, a bad boy, like you're doing something forbidden. And that runs really deep. It may sound silly, but it runs really deep. So feel comfortable with being a bad person. Finally, don't doubt this connection that you have created with infinite intelligence. You wouldn't be listening to this video, you wouldn't be here right now, if you wouldn't be absolutely certain and sure that there is something that you have to bring into this world. Even if you may be a little bit confused or maybe got confused along the way, there is something that you've touched, that you've connected with, and never doubt that. Your connection to infinite intelligence is 100% there. Never doubt that, ever. And now I want to say the final thing that will bring everything I just said together. So I am a psychic, an intuitive, and I read contracts, people's auras and energy. And I had a look at the contract for giving power away. Because everything that happens to us in this world, everything that we go through, is something that our higher self agrees to do, agrees to go through. So our higher self willingly said, I want to experience losing my power. So we are not victims here. We are co-creators of our every experience. And so I asked, why would the higher self agree to, losing its power, its inner authority? And the question that I got really amazed me. It really made me understand everything so much more clearly. The higher self agrees to this contract in order for you to truly understand what true power is. You can only experience true power when you are bound. I saw this picture of someone being in, what do you call them? Being locked, like in prison things. I don't know what you call them. You can only understand true power when you are bound. Because true power doesn't have anything to do with your exterior circumstances. It is your consciousness. It is your state of mind. It is within. And no one can take that away from you. It is always there. Reclaim this power. It is there. It has always been. And in reality, no one has ever taken it from you. Thank you so much for listening to this video. If you would like more assistance and support, you know where to reach me. You can look in the description box below and find out more info about what I do. And I hope to see you on here soon.